Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the NBA DFS Core Pick video for Thursday, February 13th. If you're joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. We'll be going over my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel. It's going to be a 5-game main slate on both sites. Typically in the morning, I post up a morning injury report, but for this slate, all 5 games, all 10 teams are on back-to-backs, so no injury reports early on in the day. We'll be posting them later on throughout the day as those injuries do come out, as the reports come out for each individual team and everything else like that. So definitely be sure that you are checking up on the comment section throughout the day for all those injury reports, as well as an updated core about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock, or as those changes do become available. I will also be posting as many of these starting lineups as I can get to throughout the evening as well. But without further ado, we'll get right into it with the DraftKings side. We're going to start off at the point guard position with CJ McCollum, $7,900, looking for $39.40 out of him. You know, there is a chance that he could sit on the back-to-back, but if he's out there, if he's playing against the Sacramento Kings team, it's going to look like a really solid option overall. I do expect Zion Williamson to sit on the back-to-back since he was able to go on Wednesday. So CJ McCollum, if he's out there, he's going to look really good overall. Currently, I'm projected for 42 points, has a little bit of upside for more, maybe a little bit of downside for less. We'll see ultimately whether or not he's a go, but especially with all these teams on back-to-backs, there could be some value that does open up throughout the day. That's why that updated core will be very important, but at least early on, CJ McCollum looked like a really good play overall. Then we move down to shooting guard with Max Christie. You could also play him at small forward, $5,200, looking for 26 points out of him to pay off at 5 times value. Only averaging about 18 so far in the season, but he's been playing really well as of late. Since coming over to this Dallas Mavericks team, he's had at least 30 fantasy points. That doesn't include Wednesday, since at the time of this recording, that game's still going on, so hopefully he does it once again, but looks like a really solid, steady, safe option at that shooting guard position overall. Then we move down to small forward with Andrew Wiggins. There was not a lot of guys I loved here at small forward, to be honest, but Andrew Wiggins, new team with the Miami Heat, should be some usage to go around for him. Good pace-up spot versus the Dallas Mavericks. $6,600, looking for 33 out of him. Currently averaging just under 31 so far in the season. If he goes out there, if he's playing well, if his shot's going down, he's going to look like a really good play overall. Currently I'm projected for 34. Could have a little bit of upside for more. Obviously, could have a little bit of downside for less at the same time as well. Then I move down to power forward with Carlo Matkovic. Probably mispronouncing his name, but $4,600. I do expect that Zion Williamson misses on the back-to-back, and I do expect that Matkovic either starts or plays a good amount of minutes in his absence. A pretty good fantasy point per minute producer in the games when Zion is not out there on the court. So if he goes out there, if he gets 27, 28 minutes, do expect him to get like 27, 28 fantasy points, pay off at this price tag of $4,600. So it looks like a really solid play overall. Good matchup versus Sacramento Kings at the same time as well. And then last but not least, we're going to the opposite in that game with Domantas Sabonis at that center position, $9,500, and we're looking for at least 47, 48 out of him to pay off at 5 times value, averaging just under 51 fantasy points per game so far in the season. Pretty attractive matchup versus the New Orleans Pelicans. A little bit of a risk that this game could potentially be a blowout in favor of the Kings, but if not, Domantas Sabonis is going to look like one of the better center options on the day overall, and one of the players with the highest upside just in general. So definitely do like him at this price tag of $95. And then with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do have listed here, you'll have $16,200 remaining, $5,400 remaining per player, so a little less than I typically like to give you guys just in general. Looking a little bit more like a balanced build type of day. We'll see what other value does end up popping up throughout the day, as all the teams are on back-to-back, so there could be a lot of injury updates. It could be a lot of value opening up as the day does ultimately move along. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there as well. So I'm going to be completely honest. On the FanDuel side, I have the same 5 players at the same time as well. We're going to start off at that point guard position once again at CJ McCollum, $7,700. Looking for 38, 39 out of him. Currently, I'm projected for 41. Probably no Zion Williamson in this game. Should help out his usage and his overall role just in general. So definitely do like the upside of CJ McCollum. And a pretty attractive matchup versus the Sacramento Kings as well, as long as he's out there playing in this game. If he's not, obviously we'll switch over to a different point guard. Could be Jose Alvarado in his absence. Could be somebody else. Ultimately, just ends up where that value ends up being for the day overall. Then we move down to shooting guard. We got Max Christie once again, $5,700, looking for 28, 29 out of him. Since joining the Dallas Mavericks, he's had at least 30 fantasy points in every game that he's played. So definitely do like that solid, safe floor overall. Guy that's going to go out there, he's going to play solid, steady minutes. Some of these guys could rest for the Mavericks on the back-to-back, although they are pretty banged up at this point in time too as well. So, you know, maybe Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving said, but other than that, they're going to have to play as many bodies as they can. Max Christie's going to go out there. He's going to play pretty big minutes. Interesting matchup for some Miami Heat, but definitely do like his upside once again. has had at least 30 fantasy points in every game that he's played for the Dallas Mavericks so far. That doesn't include Wednesday, since at the time of this recording, that game is currently going on at the same time as well. But definitely do like him once again. Currently, I'm projected for about 30 fantasy points for this slate overall. Then we move down to small forward with Andrew Wiggins. Definitely do like him coming over to Miami. A little bit more usage to go around for him. It's Tyler Hero, it's him, it's Bam Adebayo, but definitely like the upside of him overall. Currently have him projected for about 33, 34. We're looking for 32 out of him. Payoff at 5 times value at $6,400. Pays up spot versus the Dallas Mavericks. If this game's back and forth, he could be a pretty big reason why. So not too much else to say here, but definitely do like his upside overall. Then we move down to power forward with Carlo Matkovic of the New Orleans Pelicans. A guy that didn't play a lot early on in the season, but he's been playing more and more as of late and playing pretty well in that role at the same time as well. Do expect Zion Williamson to be out for this game and then Matkovic to either start in his place or come off the bench and play pretty decent sized minutes. He's a pretty good fantasy point per minute producer when Zion Williamson is not out there on the courts. And if he goes out, gets 27, 28 minutes, probably going to give you about 28 fantasy points at $4,900. We're looking for 24, 25. Should definitely be able to pay off at this price tag in a pretty attractive matchup versus the Sacramento Kings at the same time as well. And then last but not least, we're going down to the center position with Walker Kessler on the FanDuel side. You could still go to Domantas Sabonis here if you want to as well, who we do have over on DraftKings. So I did technically lie earlier. I thought I had the same 5 players, but I did remember that I moved off Walker Kessler over on DraftKings to Domantas Sabonis. Aldis will end up playing Walker Kessler on the FanDuel side. It's a back-to-back. We'll see ultimately whether or not he plays or not. If he doesn't play, we could get a value option at center for this Utah Jazz team overall. But at $7,000, looking for 35, and that's exactly what he's averaging so far on the season. Do definitely like the rebound potential, the block potential where you get the extra point out of Walker Kessler. Interesting matchup versus Ivica Zubac, but definitely do like his upside once again as well. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do currently have listed here, you got $28,300 remaining, just under $7,100 remaining per player. So looking a little bit more like a balanced build type of day. Obviously, we have a little bit more flexibility on the FanDuel side in terms of the average price tag remaining per player, but it should be a pretty interesting 5-game main slate overall. With all these teams being on back-to-backs, value will open up throughout the day. It will be very interesting to see where that value does ultimately end up landing. But with that being said, these are my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for Thursday, February 13th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comments section and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And then with that being said, just a reminder, there will be no morning injury report since all 5 teams are on back-to-backs. We'll have injury updates down in the comment section throughout the day, as well as my updated core about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock that will be listed as a pinned comment. If there's any other additional changes after that point in time, we'll leave them as a reply to that pinned comment as well. And then I will also be listing as many starting lineups as I can get to throughout the evening down in that comment section as well. So definitely make sure that you are checking up on that comment section, especially as we do get closer to lock. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now we have NBA DFS in terms of the core picks Tuesday through Friday. Obviously this week it is Tuesday through Thursday because of the NBA All-Star break. So we won't have a video coming out tomorrow night for the Friday slate, which doesn't exist because it is an off day, but definitely feel free to enjoy the NBA All-Star break. And with that being said, we'll get back to action next week. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you're a brand new user to any one of those 3 sites, when you sign up, make your first deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% match up to $100. And then for BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,000. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comment section of this video or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in NBA DFS for Thursday, February 13th.